Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon McMillian, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Tampa Bay Hurricane of 1921. So, in October of 1921, the Tampa Bay area experienced the most destructive hurricane that it had had since 1848. It had an 11-foot storm surge, and the winds were recorded up to 120 miles per hour. So this was a pretty huge hurricane, I think about a category 3. So some of the effects of the hurricane, one of them that was a big impact was agriculture, specifically for citrus fields. The storm surge caused salt water to go up into the fields and oversaturate them, and this made it like almost impossible to grow anything, not just for that season, but for many seasons to come after this. And that's pretty devastating because around this time is when we started to see more people move here for agriculture and also for tourism as well. Some more effects of this hurricane. So there was a recorded 8 deaths, half of which were from the storm surge, and the other half from like fallen debris and hazards like fallen wires. This photo on the left here that you see, this is the St. Petersburg Pier, which I'm sure many of you have been to. I have. Definitely one of my favorite places to go, and to see it like this is very interesting and something I don't think I really ever knew about the area. So, very destructive there. Another cool fact, I'm sure lots of you have been to Caladesi and Honeymoon Islands. I have. I definitely like to take my dogs to Honeymoon Island. It's one of my favorite places. But they used to be connected, and they used to be one island named Hog Island. And this hurricane was so strong that it split them into, creating the pass that you see right between each island. So now you have two islands, which is really interesting. So next time you're there, you can always drop that fact on somebody, and say, hey, this used to be Hog Island and a hurricane ripped it in two. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, and now just a little bit of food for thought about this hurricane and what that could look like today if the hurricane hit here. So if we think back to 1921, Tampa Bay area wasn't as big and booming as it is now. There was only about 50,000 people living there. Today we have more like 5 million people in the Tampa Bay area. So you can imagine the level of devastation a hurricane doing this exact hurricane would do today. Because now there's more people it would affect. And if you think about all the infrastructure that's been built since 1921 in this area, it's a lot. So it would be very devastating. And another interesting fact that I learned researching about this is the sea level today is 1 foot higher now than it was back in 1921. So that 10 to 11-foot storm surge would be extremely impactful and even more devastating. So that's just a thought. If we had a hurricane such as this one hit us directly on like it did back then, it would be a lot worse. Very interesting to think about. Okay, and now in these pictures, you can see the bottom, the smaller one is the Cortez docks. So you can just see the amount of damage that was done there. And then Paso Grill, another awesome place that I like to take my dogs to. You can see in the bigger photo the destruction that was there. It's a lot of destruction. Okay, and now we have a couple more pictures. So the picture on the left is just the streets of Tampa. You can see the downed power lines. They didn't have power for quite some time during the storm. And then you can see Bayshore Boulevard here on the right, which that's also very interesting to see it in that state. Um, Again, something I didn't know before. And so to see it these pictures of places that I've been to, it makes it a little bit more real that a hurricane could definitely come through and devastate our area. And more so than this, what we learned on the last couple of slides. Right. And this is my works cited page. I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.